Welcome to this lecture on the scrolling sidebar widget in iBooks Author. Now, as we've discussed before, iBooks Author allows you to create custom text boxes that are not part of the main text flow of your book. However, sometimes we might have content related to the surrounding text that can't really fit inside of a small custom text box. So in these cases, we can use a widget called the scrolling sidebar widget. So let's see how this works. I'm going to go to tourism section in my book. I have a section here that I want to add a sidebar to. So in order to do this, what I do is go to my widgets pop-up and select scrolling sidebar. So again, it just adds the sidebar to my book. I can go ahead and resize it however I want. Let's say I want the sidebar to go the entire length of this column. And the next thing I do is I just simply add text. So in my case, I actually have some text already written out in my exercise files in folder 12. It's the widget scrolling sidebar. If I double click on this text file, it'll open up. We can go ahead and copy all of this information and then plug it into our widget. Now you can see that this still kind of looks very similar to the surrounding text, so we probably want to look at how we can make this look a little bit more like a sidebar that's not part of the rest of the book. So what we're going to do, first thing, I'm going to actually add some images, and I can do that simply by dragging and dropping the images onto the sidebar, and then I can resize them however I want. And I have two images here, so I thought I'd put both of them in. That's the beauty of using the scrolling sidebar. You have lots and lots of room to play with. Okay. So those are my two images that I want to use. Gone ahead and added all of my text. Now I want to style this sidebar. So I would again just go to my widget inspector and take a quick look at layouts. So what I want to do is actually add a title. My title is going to be, and I can actually make a label as well. So maybe I'll call this interactive, and you can see it automatically numbers at 4.1. And this sidebar is on taxi cabs in New York City. I can also choose to include a background, and I can increase the margin here a little bit. So now you can see that it's starting to make it look more like a separate sidebar rather than the main content. Now, of course, you could select this widget, go into your graphic inspector, and you could add additional properties that make it look even more so like a sidebar, or something that's added to this book versus the rest of the content. So it's really up to you. Just go into the graphics inspector. You can change things like the fill. You can change the stroke. You can change whether you have shadows attached to the sidebar or not. So let's go ahead and just preview this. I'll click the preview button. Okay, so we've got our preview up in iBooks, and I'm just doing this on the Mac. So you can see that I've got my sidebar here that has a lot of information, and that is an introduction to the scrolling sidebar widget in iBooks Author. Thanks.